afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Second cast of the afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're excited. I sure as hell am. And what's even better is nothing new has happened in the last 5 minutes that I have to update you about. So we can roll on straight with the action. Oh yeah, it's going to take place on Rono, Cabis. It's going to be a custom 1v1. So let's head on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So Roanoke's Abyss, one of those just horrendous maps for a 1v1 as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong guys, I'm pretty sure this used to be in the ladder a while ago. I'm pretty certain it isn't now. But it's one of those maps that, like Seraphim Glaciers, that people whinge about when they're forced to play it and they don't want to. They just want a ladder and get through maps nice and quickly because it's just got so many islands, so many places to expand to. If you're going to get map control, you have to hold all these pockets, so your attention has to be everywhere, and it can provoke some pretty long games. Of course, it's a 20 by 20k map, so a big deal. Largest of the generally accepted maps that people play of any kind of realistic level. But anyway, let's take a look at the players and where they're starting. Up here at the 12 o'clock position, it's my good friend and fellow caster TA4Life. He's going Cybrin, and it still doesn't look right on him. It just doesn't suit him. It's like a guy wearing two left shoes or something. It's bizarre. Anyway, he's in Ferrari red, and he's going first land, second air. And down here, he's facing off against TEA's Aulex in baby pink, going Seraphim, going double first air, of course, getting that bonus that Seraphim air factories get to engineer production. Incidentally, by the way, guys, TEA is hiring as a clan, and when I say hiring, you're not going to get paid, but yeah, no, they're looking for new members, so that's something for you to consider. They're a nice varied bunch, and they don't have criteria either, anything like geographical criteria. Some people are like Britain only, USA only, or Germany only kind of clans. TA's open, and they welcome people from everywhere, so do consider it. Hit Aulex up for some questions if you're looking for a clan to join. There you go. That's my little bit of I was about to say it's not charity, no, my little bit of public awareness done. Definitely. So lots of air kicking about all over the map already. We knocked this down to +2. Lots of interceptors in play. One bomber out for Aulex, but look how quickly TA locks onto that and then flies straight past it. I could have sworn he was beelining for it, but he decided not to. He's following the scout plane about for the moment that's doing a little bit of reconnaissance, and that's going to allow that bomber off up here to the top to look for engines. And this is sort of a map where early bomber work could be crucial. TA now has one of his own in play. He's paused production with the actual factory, but is still assisting with engineers. Now working on interceptors. But yeah, you pop those early bombers about the place, or sorry, those early engineers with early bombers, you are really going to hold up your opponent. TA4Life 2 mass per tick ahead of Aulex. How are we doing on the island reclaim so far? 850 to 1400 for TA. You really see the different sides. Say TA has a little bit more of an efficient opening on this map, but to be honest, you would expect that. I mean, you're looking at the rating. Remember, this is a custom 1v1. This isn't a ladder, so that's the global rankings there. 1539 playing 1832. And Aulex being very aggressive. I like what I see here, throwing engineers right up here at the top right-hand central island here with just 6 minutes on the clock. 3 engineers down, going straight for a land factory, trying to cut down TA4Life's territory ASAP. He's marched his comm across onto this side island, and that's quite interesting as well, because of course TA4Life has chosen the same side of the map. It's a 50-50 split. He's gone this way, so you're going to have 2 comm-based islands facing off next to each other, which kind of lends the map to an air of rotation. But Aulex doing a great job of expanding. You can see him jump ahead, 56 mass to 31. Very, very nice work indeed. I've got to say, dude, I'm impressed. Fair few interceptors on the field for both guys. Many more for TA, though, I think it's fair to say. It's a clumped up group of NGs out there that Aulex could snag if he comes around on top of the base. He's probably going to be very wary of it, doesn't want to give away that bomber to interceptors free of charge. I think interceptors have already locked onto that bomber since it's just flown over this island. Seem to be heading in that direction, but those 4 engineers, absolutely prime target if he were to head back over there. I don't think he's going to, and we're actually seeing another drop, this time from TA4Life, heading over to the same island. There is already static defense in place, though. 1 PD and 1 anti-air. It's going to shoo away all of those units. TA4Life is going to find another place to land. It's going to drop at least 1 engineer down here, and that's in good time as well. Aulex does have control of the mass point. He's put up a radar, but hasn't been able to finish the PD or the land factory. That's going to be an easy mini cap there for TA. Now we're getting a little bit of an air fracas right over the top of that island, and Aulex looking in good shape in that one. He's going to knock out all of those early interceptors from TA and leave him with virtually no presence in the air at all. Aulex, thank you for teaching me air micro from vids. Oh, Aulex, you see, how can you not want to join that clan with comedy stars like that involved? But, yeah, naughty Aulex there. A little bit of gamesmanship. Always good to see when it doesn't involve things like noob in the title, or offensive words. Real offensive words, that is. But Navy on the field for TA. 4 naval factories, though, completed there for Aulex. Looks like about 3 frigates heading north up here. This is going to be a tough hold, though. So far away from Aulex's base, but he's still 25 on mass ahead in terms of income on TA. That's got to leave him in pretty good shape for the rest of the game. Even if he does lose this island, he's going to want to hold on to it, of course, as best he can. It might be a bit of a tough ask. Interceptors now from Aulex hovering over the top of this island, taking a little bit of ground fire from those tridents. Doesn't sound right, ground fire. You want to say sea-based fire, but that's a little bit of a mouthful. Meanwhile, a sliver rolling past a couple of frigates in the middle, and TA probably going to use this guy mainly as a reconnaissance tool. He wants to see what he's facing on the sea, and then promptly turns it around, changed his mind. It's a lot of Zuis, and you would expect that from a forward Seraphim base, especially one that's knocking on TA's doorstep. Hardcore Zui spam. All 3 of these knocking out Zuis now, except for this one actually. No, 2 of them knocking out Zuis and 1 committed to build capacity. But yeah, if you can hold on to this, you can just start sending Zuis at TA's main island. TA already accessing Cybran T2 Navy, of course. T2 Navy, Cybran incredibly strong. I do feel like there's slightly less of an advantage on this map for Cybran T2 Navy, because it's not quite so important, those Salem destroyers, the ability to walk on land. The islands themselves are so very small that generally fire's able to cross it and get to anything on the island just from sailing around it. But look at that large collection of Zuis there from Aulex heading north, going straight for this little side island here, and then you'd imagine wanting to beeline in towards the main base. He's going in around the back, in fact. Now, what's TA's intel like? He's not aware of anything as yet. We're seeing Salems now on the field, however, and large air engagement happening right over the top of TA's fleet. But Aulex seems to have a lot more interceptors on the field. And we're seeing Zuis pour out of this base over here, so TA has capped that tech over there, and that's one of the difficulties, of course, by being so aggressive, setting up shop. You've got to deny, certainly, but not allow, if you do fall, if your position does fall, not allow your tech to be captured. And now the Zuis are in TA's hands, and he can start sending them against this forward island for Aulex. And Zui's such a huge unit on this map. People say they're so easy to counter, but they're also so easy to spam, and on a place where you've got so much cover, i.e. the map is so big, you can plant bases anywhere and on these islands, and intel is hard to come by, especially in the early stages. The Zui becomes a dangerous little unit. And now, an incursion by Aulex. How much damage can he deal? We've got a Jester out. That's going to be uncounterable, of course, by those Zuis. We've got a Salem-class destroyer just off the edge here. He's taken down one T2 mass point. It looks like he's going to grab another. Just about missing quite heavily. Randomness in the artillery firing coming into play a little bit there. Running out of power now. Immediately that gets rebuilt to a T1. How has that changed things? Aulex, though, 129 mass to 65. Look at the control on the map. That is disgusting. Go, Aulex. Not that I don't want to see TA win. He's done so much for me, my channel, and more importantly for the community. But you've got to love the underdog. It's like the guy who's seeded 105 in the world comes straight out and takes a set off. The guy who's number one, it's always nice to see. But look at this, though. That may not last for long. And you see how dangerous it is. Yes, of course, it would have gone down anyway, I think, with these destroyers in play. But certainly, even through losing that island, we're looking at an advantage for Aulex still. I mean, that may change once TA gets some engineers over here and claims these mass points. But for the moment, he's still in good shape. He just needs to focus on ecoing and staying ahead of his opponent. We now have got a T2 Fim factory there at the bottom. For Aulex, we're already seeing some destroyers on the field. We've got 3 up here at this upper island. A little squad of a couple of renegades and a couple of cormorants. 2 gunships, 2 torpedo bombers. Like that little multi-purpose hit squad. Slowly tickling that mass point to death. And Aulex actually did grab this top side island right here. He's trying to throw together a PD. TA turns up with an engineer of his own and he's going to suck the life out of that engineer, and a 1,197 HP of 1,300 done. That's a little bit painful. Not that it would have lasted too long anyway in that proximity. One lone interceptor there wants to be sent over to deal with those aircraft. And now we're seeing some Seraphim cruisers on the field, and that's what's really going to hurt. Not only the access to the Zui, but of course TA4Life now has access to Seraphim Navy, which are generally regarded, maybe tied with UEF, but generally regarded as the finer or finest navy in the game. So there'll be no special sub-hunter advantage for Aulex. And a small band of jesters on a little mass assassination mission. I like it, but that is ending in disaster, and there's going to be a note going out to their families very soon from the Cyber Commissioner of War, saying how sorry he was. There was a mix-up. It's actually directions to the mess hall. But look how this game has turned. Is that accurate? 130 mass, 13,500 reclaim there for Aulex, and 11,000 for TA. So Aulex doing better on reclaim and doing considerably better on income as well. But I'm a little bit concerned from about the amount of power on the field that TA is pushing down with. If he can separate these two islands. It looks like that's what he's trying to do. He's planting his navy and his units on this side. And he's going to come in with some air units and assault this island. He hasn't got a lot on the field though. He's got a handful of renegades there. He's got some cormorants. Not going to be able to do anything against land, of course. And Aulex is sitting there quite happily spamming up T2 flak. But in come the Seraphim destroyers there for Aulex to shoo away those units. Stop capturing my stuff, he says, having noticed probably the navy. The TA says, you sent it to me. It was a present, wasn't it? It did look like a present. It was wrapped up and everything. And some static T2 artillery being employed there on that island for Aulex. It's a lot of frigates taking some cruiser fire there. Get the feeling in terms of spam, TA's looking a lot stronger now, just in quantity of units. He's just spamming out of everywhere. Aulex is quite concentrated, and you can be doing better than your opponent. You can be ecoing better. He's actually not now. TA4Life now 125 to 111. So he's overtaken Aulex in the eco game. Still very close though. But yeah, if you're too concentrated with your units, you allow your opponent to keep you on the back foot the whole time, you will steadily start to lose ground as the fighting is continuously on your side of the field. T1 build capacity spamming together, T1 anti-air, trying to fend off this little renegade attack over on the right hand side of the map here. More renegades incoming. Not a great deal of damage caused by those gunships, but pressure still being applied, and we've got some Seraphim hover tanks coming in now, so it's almost as if TA is switching up to Seraphim. See more and more of those units on the field, and you can't blame them. You just can't blame him. Aulex trying to make something happen here with a few destroyers submerged up here as well. But now coming under cormorant torpedo fire. And 25 minutes gone. Aulex has gone from looking in really good shape to floundering slightly. TA's eco's just ballooning at the moment, and there's some success here for Aulex. These destroyers going after build capacity in quite a big way, but just a couple of those left. I don't think they're going to be able to cause critical damage. Aulex is pressing up though with his horde of T1 frigates. He could take out this little base. That would be a nice coup for him. He needs to get on the offensive somehow. But he just doesn't have the units at the moment, and I think you're seeing the difference right here. That's where that 300 gap in rating is coming from. Interceptors well out of power there for Aulex, flying over a whole bunch of Sky Slammers and slowly getting popped. Come up to try and take some of the pressure off this navy, this little navy attack from these cormorants, but not going to get anything done there. They've been flying around since the beginning of the game, trying to cover so much ground, of course, on a 20k map. It's a tough ask, but there's still a bunch of build capacity on these naval yards, and not very many pink ships left in there. And this island down here has been peppered with cruise missile fire from the Seraphim cruisers. That is a real shame. We are starting to see some sub-hunters on the field now for Aulex, but you've got to think that they won't be alone on the battlefield for too long. And there's the upgrade as we speak, going straight to T3 on that Seraphim naval yard there for TA. Those cormorants have done incredibly well. There's been very little presence anti-air-wise on the sea for Aulex. There's been no cruisers. It's been destroyers only. So there's been nothing to stop these cormorants. TA on even ground in the air in terms of interceptor power, and then factor in these cruisers kicking about the map as well. Cuts down Aulex's mobility. Hasn't left him in great shape. Now TA's just going hunting, looking for anything he can. Is there anything on the agenda, Aulex? Anything you can do to get back the initiative in this game? I suspect it's over, but hope springs eternal. And that static T2 artillery emplacement is getting some playtime there. But look at that. Surely there's nothing that Aulex can do now. Two islands cut off from each other. And he's been ecoing okay, considering he's been keeping up relatively well. Is he floating mass, or is he able to spend it? He's not. Definitely not floating mass. Just got out-spammed by TA in this one, I feel, as the cormorants come over and pummel those two sub-hunters. It's been one of the only things left on the map. It's been keeping Aulex at bay. Oh, sorry, at TA4Life at bay. Aulex calls the GG. And I think you're right, man. I don't see any way back from this now for you, I'm afraid. And Aulex control K's as com. TA emerges victorious. Very interesting game there, and it illustrates a nice point about how you can be way ahead in a game and still come back to lose it if you just don't manage to get enough units out. He just seized up on the unit production, didn't seem to get a critical amount out. But I really do think that capping of the Seraphim tech, brutal as it may seem, paid huge dividends there for TA. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. In the meantime, as always, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.